All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the thealaracanfieldshow, the Awaken Happiness Now global series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And today, my good friend Theresa Vee is back with us, and we are going to be talking about healing into the new you. And so some of what we're going to talk about is, Theresa is going to help us to find and fix your energy leaks and drains, explore how your spiritual practice might be throwing you off balance and know what to do about it. See the ways in which the world around you supports your balance and start taking advantage of them. Release confusion and increase clarity. We all want that. See the attachments and self-judgment that cause you to miss your messages. Ooh, yes. And she'll be bringing through special personal messages and healing frequencies, especially for you today. So we are going to be taking live caller questions, so you can raise your hand or type your question in the chat. And for those of you who don't know Theresa, like I said, she's been, she's back with us and she's been on our show many, many times. We love having her on the show. She is an international speaker, a spiritual teacher, a mentor, a priestess, a master of the healing arts, and angelic channel. She works with people who feel that they should have attended Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters before being sent out into the world, helping them to find the strength in their sensitivities and guiding them in the use of these superpowers. Theresa is a visionary, a love warrior, and a fierce stand for peace, who is widely regarded as a presence of unconditional love. In her uniquely effective way, she has been helping people expedite their healing and ascension for over 15 years, calling us into our authenticity and full integrity. She empowers sensitives to stand in the power of who we really are so that we can feel more alive, on purpose, and fulfilled. And so I'm so glad that Theresa is back with us. We always have so much fun. Theresa, welcome back to the show. So glad you're here.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here. I was really looking forward to this for a very long time.
Yay, awesome. I'm so glad because I know how busy you are. So, like when you said yes to being back, I was like, yay, thank God. It's like, it's always such a light-filled show. It's always such a high vibration show, and it's filled with so much love. And we always receive so much wisdom from you and the angels. So, like I said, I just love having you back.
Thank you. I love being here and I love this community. So I just feel so blessed. And I feel like this is the perfect time, like Sarah said before we started, to really dive into our blessings, because, when we do that, we're saying to the universe, thank you, bring me more. So everything we love, everything we're birthing, everything that we're visualizing in this spring season where we're renewing, this is like the perfect timing for this. So
yes.
So I'm so grateful for this community.
And, absolutely, like you just said, we are into spring now, the spring renewal, rebirthing, and so I'm wondering, it's like some of us, may have been having challenges in the past week or two. Me, it was yesterday. It was like full on bad day. But all these things are stirring up energies. They're bringing stuff up, right? For us to, again, sometimes it is about looking at, okay, what is it that you truly want? What is really important? What is really your priority? And the energies have changed, right? So it's like kind of like what my guides are saying, get with the program,
Literally.
Right? What do you think?
So I think this spring is very special. Every season is special. Every day we get to be alive is special. But also, this spring is very special because it marks the end of a very long winter period for us. We've been in a winter period for a couple of years now, and we're just starting to feel like those little flowers that are peeking out of the ground, like peeking our heads out into the world again, seeing, okay, what's the same, what's changed. So that's an additional layer of this spring. And the other layer is we're like 2 feet, those of us who've been on this path for a little while, those of us are here in this space, 2 feet in the new paradigm energy. So it's like, okay, now we're seeing with 2 feet in what's still in our system that needs to go, or where we're attached. That's a really interesting thing for a lot of us, is to observe the subtlety of attachment in our lives. And a lot of times that's what's coming up for people right now, or it's just about, the interesting thing is it's subconscious attachment so many times. So now that, depending on our experience over the last couple of years, some of us had trauma. Well, actually the whole world had trauma, but some of us had personal trauma on top of it, and personal experiences. And based on where we live and how we experience things, we're all returning to the world differently and needing to make room for each other's experience. And sometimes for those of us who are really sensitive, it can be harsh to kind of feel all of that and navigate all of that. So as we do this, we need to remember that in this new paradigm, first and foremost is taking care of ourselves. We need to be well sourced, because the angels have said over and over that depleted light workers will not be able to do anything for the world. We need to have our energy right so that we can have enough energy to move forward, because we're here to set the example of how to be now, how to exist, how to navigate. And so what we need to do is show people, okay, you need to take care of you, and then you can take care of everyone else. You know, we've been hearing for like 1 billion years about put your mask on first and then put the mask on the other people around you in the airplane. It's exactly that. You know, when we are at 100%, then we can be at 100% for everyone else as well. And actually that's a big thing I want to talk about today is our energy level. So, you know, but I think realizing how many layers are there for us this spring will help us to understand some of what we're going through right now. Some of us feel like the little flower that comes out in my front garden every year. It's this little, very delicate flower with white petals. And every year when it appears, the landscapers come. And the landscapers come with their blowers and they blow the flower to death. And it happens every year, but that flower comes back every year, right? And just to be killed by the landscapers again, and it drives me crazy. But it's just like that's what we're experiencing a little bit this year. Is like we're looking out, we're in our beauty, and then the landscaper comes in. And are we resilient enough to say, well, okay, so our leaves are still gonna be here, even though the flower is gone.
I love that. And it is about being resilient, isn't it? And being, you know, standing in our power, being grounded, being present, but also knowing who we are and where we're going and what we want, right?
Yeah, really remembering the why and knowing that we chose to be here at this time for some reason. So, you know, just even if we know nothing other than that, remembering that we chose to be here at this time helps us to navigate a lot of the, oh my gosh, what is happening in this world? You know, it's that overwhelming energy. Just remembering, I chose to be here to be part of the solution helps us to come back into our own power.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So, you know, we're going to talk about so many different things, but, you know, finding and fixing what's going on with us right now, you know, finding and fixing those energy leaks and drains, because sometimes we are not fully in our power because we are being, we're just going to go with the energy leaks and drains. I'm not going to go any beyond that, right? So how can we figure that out? How can we find that out?
So this is an interesting navigation for us because we're so, we'll talk about that. But a lot of times we spend hours and hours and hours in our practices, and like we're trying to navigate the energies because we're sensitive. We're trying to navigate the energies outside of us and show up our best way within them. And that's a beautiful thing. But what we neglect to navigate is, where are the holes? Like, why is this energy not filling me up? Why do I have to do so much of this just to feel okay? You know, and so when we think about, I'm putting all of this beautiful energy in, like my body is a temple, my soul is so beautiful, I'm working so hard to bring all of this grace into my system. But you're like a bucket of water that has holes in it, right? So now all the energy you're working so hard to bring in is going through the holes. If it makes any sense to do that, I haven't found it. So it's like, let's plug the holes first and then do our practices. So we need to kind of, the first thing we would do is obviously clean a bucket if we were going to fill it with water. And then, you know, we would check it for holes, and then we would fill it with water before carrying it. So when we can find that, you know, we have to realize no matter what we do, we wake up in the morning and we have 100% of the energy we're going to have for the day. That's it, right? We have 100% and we're on a declining balance till we go to bed. And everything we navigate that day has to come out of 100%. And a lot of us assume, well, I have 100% of my own energy, but I can grab 100% of the energy of the universe and run it through me. But we neglect that human body only has 100% energy, right? So we run to like a deficit of 25 to 50% of our energy a lot of days. So when we remember this, and we can also think of this as money, if we had $100 to spend in the morning, there's no more money that's going to be in our account by the end of the day. We only have that $100. So we need to start managing our energy from that perspective. So, some of the ways that we neglect to see the holes is there are people who drain us, right? There are people in our everyday life who are not uplifting to us. And, some people say energy vampires, like whatever it is, but we don't have to judge people in this way. What we can look at is our experience of being around them. And more often than not, does my experience being around this person uplift me? Or does it make me feel drained at the end? And if the answer is more often than not, I feel drained when I'm with this person, then there's an energy leak, right? That's an energy leak. We also have, the things that we know about, the things that are accumulated in our space. Every object that we have in our space takes a certain amount of energy from us, whether we're paying attention to them or not. Social media takes energy. A lot of times we'll see someone and we have like this whole fight inside of us based on what they've shared, or unresolved emotional experiences. Those things just play over and over in our system and just eat up energy. And then we do this thing also where we don't live behind our eyes, we live in the other person. So if we're saying something to another person, we play out the whole thing in our head. How are they going to react? How should I say it better? And then, okay, they say this, then I say this, then they say this. And we've had a whole back and forth in our head without even doing it in person. It's all in our head, So those are just some ways that we can start looking at, where am I losing energy in the day-to-day, and how can I plug some of those holes or make myself run more efficiently so that, doing those things I do normally, maybe I have to see these people or I have to be on the computer in this way, then I can do it in such a way where I'm not losing as much energy. So that's like some really big things for us. And, stay around the people who are uplifting to you. Find more of those people. It can be hard sometimes, but when you find them, like really cherish them and let them know how much you cherish them, because that's a good way for us to make sure that our energy is, we're having that reciprocal experience that we so long for in our lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. It's like sometimes we want to be there for our friends, our family, etc., even though, they may be draining us of our energy. So it's like really looking at, yes, sometimes I can be supportive and help and whatever, but to what point, right? At some point I have to focus on myself as well. I have to, I am also a priority, right? And so, it's kind of harsh when you look at it like that, because like sometimes family members, friends, etc., can be energy vampires, but we love them, right? We want to be there for them. We want to engage with them, so it's like, where do you draw the line, right? I would say when it's affecting your health, draw the line.
And sometimes it's a finite amount of time too. Sometimes one of our friends needs a lot of our attention, or we feel maybe depleted after seeing them because they're going through something, right? And maybe it's 6 months or 3 years, like, mourning or divorce or something like that. Those things don't necessarily have a time limit. But if the same issues are being brought up and worked through like 10 years into your relationship, then, is my being here for you in this capacity preventing you from getting the help you need to move on through this, and so not only is it draining us, then it's inhibiting the other person. So we need to kind of look at the trade-off, because there are going to be times in our lives where we need our friends to show up for us because we're the ones who are draining, because we're going through something, and then vice versa. So it's about like that, finding that, I want to say balance, but it's never really balance, but it's the give and take of relationship, and really being cognizant of, okay, 70% of the time in the whole span of time I've known this person, they're draining, and the other 30% I felt okay, but that was because there were 30 other people around, So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. Awesome. Thank you. And so, our spiritual practice, how can our spiritual practice be throwing us off balance?
So that's a beautiful question.
Yeah.
It happens in a lot of ways. We're so devoted, which is such a beautiful thing about our community and our makeup, is we do have this devotion to the divine, to the light, to being the best we can be here. And so we spend a lot of time in practice. But what we sometimes don't do is edit our practice down. So there are a couple of ways we do this. So maybe we just keep adding things onto our practice, and instead of now taking 20 minutes in the morning, it's gone up to like 4 hours of before I can get anything else done. I have to do my breathing, my journaling, my yoga, my this, my that, and if that's working for you 100%, that's great.
Yeah.
But if you're finding that you're waking up and you're like, oh, this takes so long, or I'm still going to do this, even though I haven't had results with it in a very long time. So that's the first thing, is we do too much. Sometimes we do too much, and we start to find those signals in our body that we're hearing, okay, you're doing too much. You're not enjoying this anymore. This has become work, and we don't listen because we feel like the more we can do, the better a person we are. That's number one. Number two is sometimes we outgrow practices, right? Like anything in our life, some things are there for a time period. And let's say at some point in our life, we're focused on anger. And we find this meditative practice with this breathing that will release anger, right? And we work with it and we work with it. And we're 3 years into it and we don't have the anger issue anymore. Let's just say we've healed it through this practice. And now our body, we're finding maybe we're anxious now, right? So anxiety is coming up. But instead of switching our practice to be more focused on anxiety, we stick with the anger one because it worked for us then. It's not doing anything for us now, but it worked then. And we're afraid to let it go because what if the anger comes back? Well, then you just start the practice again. So it's really about, what is it that you need now? What's working for you still? What's not necessarily working for you in the same way anymore? Can you put that tool down and pick another one up? And that is a big way that we throw ourselves off balance, because if we're getting the message, hey, this isn't working for you anymore, and we're still doing the same thing over and over, expecting it to somehow start working for us again, when it's clear that something new needs to be brought in, then we're just kind of going from here to here to here and going more and more off center, right? And not listening to that intuitive hit. So that's really important for us to kind of explore in our lives. It's also important for us to remember that everything in our environment has an energy and takes energy from us just by being there. And so when we are in our spiritual practice, when we can just have things around us that we love and that bring us joy and bring good energy to us, that would be really helpful as well.
And, part of this has to do with being present, right? And being aware of, not just automatically doing practices, just really being present with it and asking questions around it. Is this working? How am I feeling with this, right? Instead of like, I have to do this. I've been doing this for 10 years, 20 years, whatever, how many years. But you know what? Everything has changed now. So some of the old practices, and I hate to say that, but some of the old practices, maybe you need to take a look at again to see, are they really beneficial? Are they really helping you? Or do you need some sort of little tweak, maybe just a little tweak,
And when we put something down, we can do it with love and gratitude. Like, thank you.
Yeah.
Like teachers too, we have a teacher for a little while, and then sometimes we hold on instead of knowing that, okay, we finished our work here, we need to move on, and we can be in the gratitude and be in the love for what was accomplished through this tool, and then just release it, or maybe even share it with somebody else who now needs it, and then you adopt something new, just like when you adopted that tool, it was so helpful for you then, so it's not about judging or whatever, but a lot of what we do also is we come back over and over to the assumption that we're doing something wrong. Right? This meditation hasn't worked for me in 5 years, but I'm going to sit and I'm still going to do it because I must not be in the headspace to meditate. Like I am not focused. And because that's the one thing we know we can change is ourselves. Right.
Yeah.
And when we're in a world where we feel so kind of like we can't do enough, can't do as much for everyone as we want to do, and then when it's easier for us to stick with what we can change in ourselves instead of changing another thing outside of ourselves. So that's kind of our default, and we default there to avoid doing work or avoid change.
Mhm. Yeah, it's safe. It's what we know.
Right. And we know how to
Yeah.
change ourselves. We've done it a million times. We're really good at self-growth.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Sometimes um, and then the world is always supporting us, right? And we forget how the world, the universe, spirit is always supporting us if we are willing to look at everything that is around us as support, right? I know for when I was years ago now, I couldn't see the support that was all around me. Now, when I look back, I see how supported I was, how supported I am. Because I used to remember, I used to say, I have no support, I have no support. I was like, oh my God, so that was in my old story, right? But now it's like a totally different story. I see how everybody, everything, the universe, nature, my dogs, everything is supporting me to, have more ease in my life and for my life to flow, right? So let's talk a little bit about that support too, that's always there with us and for us, and how we can maybe recognize it even more.
Yeah, well, we know that, I don't know if you all know, but I know for beyond the shadow of a doubt that our angels are always there to support us. They are there 100% of the time. And we just need to ask. We literally just need to invite them to come and support us, because they can't interfere in our life if we don't ask. Unless, again, it's a matter of life and death and you're about to exit your body prematurely, they will come in and act. So that's important to know. As I'm talking to you, the little birds are like lining up on the rooftop that I can see right outside the window, and they're so adorable. So I just keep looking up there. So just so you know what I'm seeing. So that's, and there's a perfect example, right? There's a perfect example. Nature supports us in all the ways. And I've really been looking to stay in my joy more and more of the time. And there they are, like bringing it to me. Nature will bring us exactly what we need. We spent a little time here talking about the spring season, and spring is the season of cleansing and renewal, right? We always say, oh, spring cleaning. And whenever people are doing like physical cleanses, it's always in the spring, because it's the universe, our nature supports cleansing, because it's growing all sorts of foods naturally that help us to detox. Berries, bitter greens, like they're all growing so that we can just eat them to detox ourselves of the winter heaviness. And this year we talked about the heaviness that's been with us, the winter we've been in for a couple of years. So this is an all around detox for us. So this spring season, we're cleansing on so many levels. So just be gentle with yourself and look to what's growing in your area. Like seasonal eating will help navigate this so easily. When we eat seasonally, our body does what it needs to do, and we're not kind of putting up any walls. So that's like, there are several ways that the universe and nature right around us kind of helps us with this, but that's definitely one of them. Another one that I love, because we are sensitive and we're so attuned to energies, is the energy of the foods we eat, right? So are you someone who needs to be grounded more? Look in your garden or look to the farms around you. Like what's a vegetable, what's a food that grows in the ground? Carrots, potatoes, like they grow into the ground. So they're going to be grounding. Squash is grounding, right? If you're having problems, like you want to open your heart chakra, or you're having congestion in your lungs, that's a big thing in the spring. Leafy greens, right? Leafy greens function right here. It's just look how they grow. They reach up to the sky and they pull the oxygen. They literally, things will show you what they can help you with just by the way they grow. And when we can tune into that, it's so beautiful, and we have all of these cycles going every day, like day to night. We have the moon cycles, that really help us to kind of navigate where we are. There are times of day where different organs work, and so if we start to pay attention to why do I feel this way at a certain time of day, we can start to figure out which organs in our body need support. The colors around us, if we, if we're in a lot of pain, maybe we don't stay around the color red very much, or we don't wear the color red because it exacerbates any inflammation. So it's all of these little things that are so beautiful that we can do in our lives because we are so sensitive, that will have big impact, and in addition to our divine team and the friends that we call in through circles like this, nature provides so much of what we need. So when you're in doubt as to what to do because you're not feeling 100%, just look outside, look at the world outside, see what's happening there, and take your cues from nature and start looking to, okay, well, what's actually growing naturally here right now? And, if you're in Canada, sometimes the answer is nothing. Nothing's growing in the middle of winter. So what does that say? Like there's always going to be some sort of potato or something like that. So something
absolutely.
warming then.
All right, so let's talk about confusion and clarity. I know so many people, they talk about, I don't have clarity. I don't have clarity. I just I don't have the answer. I don't, so can we release that confusion?
We can. There's a lot of confusion in the whole world right now, and we kind of talked a little bit about that earlier. There's just so much because we're now in this world where everything is at our fingertips, right? And sources don't have to be vetted anymore. So anyone can say anything as if it's truth, as if it's reality. And what we can do is run it through our heart monitor to feel if it feels true to us. But not everybody in the world can do that because they haven't learned to access that yet. So they grab onto a lot of these things and then adopt them as their truth when they feel kind of icky or wrong or not exactly right to us, so that creates this whole swirl of confusion in the world. So that's important for us to realize, is this is a universal phenomenon right now, which is why so many of us have had even more issue getting our own clarity because humankind is just in that space. But very often we miss our messages because we're so attached to how we receive them. So the way we're communicating now has shifted. We used to reach up. We used to have to really reach up and get into this space to get the message and pull it back down. And now it's more like the realms are around us. There's not that up and down anymore. It's sort of the energy has not exactly evened out, but evened out more. So while we're still going in the direction that we used to go, the direction has shifted slightly, so we do still need to be in a higher vibration, but it's not the same level of disparity that it was before. We also, I know people, I have clients who they just know. Right? I just know that things are going to happen. I just know what I should do. What they want to hear, they want to see, and knowing is the highest of the clairs. It's the highest of the psychic gifts. And we want a lesser one. And that's not judgment. That's not hierarchy, but we want one that's not as much of a gift because that's how everybody else does it, And so, I had a relative once, we had a death in the family, and she was like, I've been asking him for signs. I've been asking for signs and I'm not getting any. Meanwhile, I'm watching her as she's talking to him. There's butterflies all over the place, right? Butterflies everywhere, but she's looking in the sky because she wants to see a cloud that's in a specific shape. And she's missing the 1,000 butterflies that she's seen that day. So there's the attachment of how we get the messages. And when we have a lot of things undone in our lives, then we have a lot of things that aren't clear. So maybe there's relationships that need closing, or things in relationship that need cleaning up, or something like that, or paperwork that needs doing. Whatever it is that we're avoiding is also kind of clogging our energy because we are more sensitive now. So when we can take care of things efficiently, then we have less in our field when we actually want to get the messages. The one thing I do want to say, because the angels are saying, is being in the moment helps us to get our messages most efficiently now, right? So if I'm in the moment, they can access me immediately and I can get that memo. So if nothing else, just work on being present with what you're doing and your messages will start to flow more clearly.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you. And yes, the attachments and the self-judgments. We're judging ourselves that we're not good enough to get the message, for example.
That's
right.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's that, or, or going back to, I'm not doing this right. Yeah. I'm doing it wrong. Right. And then that self-chatter lowers our vibration, because we wouldn't talk, if we were teaching someone meditation, we wouldn't shame them for not doing it right, not getting their messages, but we do it to ourselves. So it's really about that whole self-judgment thing, the whole, when we can support ourselves the way we would another person, then that's really how we are being asked to show up, because that's part of the change we're here to make, is to teach everyone that they are worthy of love. And how do we do that? By living it ourselves.
Beautiful. I love that. And that's the thing. We are worthy of receiving the messages, right? So a lot of times, or receiving the healing, we there's parts of us that are keeping us from receiving the healing or receiving the messages, because we have this belief that we're not good enough, or we're not worthy enough, right?
Right. Or that we deserve it. Like I there's somebody that I've been working with who really believes that because of, and we're not talking karma, like there is that whole karmic thing that we need to work through on. But when we are saying repeatedly, I deserve this illness, this situation, then we're not open to the healing, because we're just constantly bringing in that opposite energy.
Yeah, absolutely. So, wow. Awesome. I love it. And I know we're going to be taking some questions from people. And so there's lots of questions in the chat. There's lots of people with their hands raised. I was just going to, oh goodness, I just lost it. Wait, don't write anything in the chat. All right. So there's a message from Maria. And she's wondering, Theresa, if you can see how she can find and fix her energy leaks and drains. She says, I feel very drained this week. I meditate every day, do Qigong, eat healthy, and go to bed early, but I still feel drained this week. So if it's just a one-time thing like this week, it possibly could just be because of all the intense energies from the equinox, from spring, etc. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, my sense as you're reading Maria's message for you specifically, I feel very much this last full moon kind of kicked you in the butt a little bit, because of your astrological chart and where things are in your own soul's experience. So it just feels like the lesson for you here might be giving yourself some grace, because you're doing everything right, that feels right in your system, that is right for you. It's almost like the assumption is I should never feel human, and give yourself the time, give yourself the week to just feel human and just be tired, and if your body is saying, I need to sleep, go to sleep, take a nap, do whatever it is. It's not something you're going to do all the time. It's something you're going to do because your body's asking you to do it. And sometimes also, my sense is not that this is for you, Maria, but that there are other people here who need this right now. Sometimes those things are signs that your body is giving you that something's not right. It needs attention. It needs to be cared for. So these are like the signs and symptoms that we get sometimes before an illness actually manifests. So maybe before we get a fever, we feel tired. And if we rest, the fever doesn't develop. But if we push through, maybe the fever develops. Like, that's just an example. But when we're not used to looking at these as signs and symptoms, or we kind of plow through them, then that's when we end up, over time, we've done this to ourselves, where we end up on the couch for 2 weeks because we just can't anymore. So really give yourself grace. It feels like that's a good learning for you as you move in this new paradigm.
Awesome. Thank you. And Arietta, she says, negativity received into my heart. Hours ago, I felt my space or my heart heavy. A very negative energy surrounded me. I left the space, my heart, chest, throat, and back, starving for oxygen, for freedom. 30 minutes breathing and walking by the sea brought some relief. Awesome, good. Still, I feel the energy, especially around the throat. Can you help? Who is behind it? Any family member?
So interestingly, I feel a couple of things here as as Alara was reading the question out loud, I feel your body so in resonance, like you have these past life soul experiences that are so in resonance with a lot of what's going on in the world right now. And it feels like maybe today you started the day maybe a little bit more tired than you normally were. Maybe you were hungry, like whatever it is, it just feels like your energy level wasn't where it normally would be. And like it all just crept up on you at the same time. And like I'm seeing you in resonance with so many of the people who are in war-torn areas, so many people in the world who are feeling like they don't have a voice right now. So there's a lot of past life resonance that feels like it's coming up for you. You're like a tuning fork, it's resonating, and it's not all going to come up at the same time, but it's letting you know that there's stuff here that's ready to go. So I think you did all the right things, but maybe sitting with that, pick one of those things at a time. Maybe start with the throat and meditate on your throat and ask your throat, okay, what is this feeling here to show me? How can we work through it? What do I need to know? What do I need to clear? And just be with it. Because when we can be with that energy, it doesn't have a need to hide anymore. We're sitting with it, it's getting the message to us and it can go away. And my sense is some of this stuff has been with you for many lifetimes, and it's just you are equipped now to get rid of it.
Awesome. Wow, good. All right. Manisha, you want to unmute yourself?
Yes, hello. Hi, Alara. Hello, Theresa.
Hi.
I basically wanted to see what you see in me. Like I have a lot of, I've had a lot of karmic issues relating to finances, etc. A lot of betrayal in my life from father, siblings, etc., ex-husband.
Yeah.
And I'm really sort of stuck, and I don't know where to go. I'm a bit lost.
You're not lost, you're right here, and we all see you. So you're here. I see in you, what I'm really seeing is this incredible divine feminine energy, like this really powerful feminine energy. And it feels like over lifetimes, because of culture, because of situations, it's almost like you've had to kind of bring that in, rein it in a little bit, and defer to the patriarchy or the males in your life. And it's like that part of you has been in rebellion inside, right? And not necessarily comfortable. And I'm talking at the soul level. You may not have been consciously aware of this, but at times you definitely were. And it feels like now that part of you wants to come first and foremost. She wants to be in her full power. She wants to be in her true elegance and her true grace. And so everything that was attached to those old ways of life where you were shackled in some ways, emotionally, physically, all had to leave your space so that you can fully embrace your power. And I really feel like as you step your foot out, everything that you need just starts coming to you. When you step a foot forward in that energy fully and completely, everything just starts coming to you. It's almost like people are falling at your feet to hand you things, because you're in that. We call it like the regal queen energy, where you're showing up in your power, but also in love. Does that make sense?
It does on so many levels. I'm actually very speechless, because I really resonated with whatever you've said. And how can I get out of, this sort of prison that I am in? I've been trying for a long time. I'm literally stuck for quite a while now.
Archangel Michael is showing me the prison is here around your brain. Like the bars are around your brain. So it's like, start to visualize, what would my life look like if I was in my full power? And you might not know. So then you move into, okay, well, what would make me happy? Where would I like to go? Where would I like to be? What would I like to do? What would I like to wear? You know, what fabric do I like to feel on my body? What do I like to eat? What would I eat nonstop with wild abandon if I could? You know, really get into what brings me pleasure, right? And some of us in feminine bodies especially are very uncomfortable with the word pleasure. And so it's just so maybe find a different word if that makes you uncomfortable. But what would let you be in that sensual experience of being fully in your body, being fully in your power? And when you move into that, even if it's just visioning, it feels like those bars around what you are thinking is possible, they start to just disintegrate. And it's like your brain is like a bird that just flies free then, because there's no more mental limitations. Does that make sense?
It does, yes. Thank you so much. It was very powerful and, spot on, actually. And thank you, Alara, for offering me this opportunity. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. That was awesome. All right, Laura, do you want to unmute yourself?
Hi, Alara. Hi, Theresa.
Hi.
I was feeling very similar to Manisha. I'm feeling very blocked, and I'm working on a couple of projects that I get distracted. I'm not finishing them. It's long overdue. And I'm just wondering how I can clear. I guess I was feeling karmic energy, and then I thought we were done with all our karmic debt, but I still feel some things that I can work on. I'd rather not work on anymore. I want to move on to getting my projects complete.
Yeah. What I'm seeing, it's interesting because it's a very similar thing, but a completely different way it's presenting for you. What I see is when you started these projects, it was like there was a joy, there was like a fire, and now it's like there's not that energy behind it anymore. It's just, yeah. So it's about, okay, is this project still bringing me joy? Or do I need to shift something about the project so that it can bring me, the person I am now, joy instead of the person who started it? You're not the same person anymore. Like you said, you've worked through so much in the recent past that you're not the same person anymore. So if it doesn't bring you joy anymore, then maybe it's not a project that you're supposed to finish, or maybe it's supposed to take on a little bit of a different face, or be finished in a different way than it was started, but it just feels like really look into, where is my joy now? Because I feel your creative energy is there. It's like it's revving itself up, but there's no joy to fire it. Does that make sense?
No, because I'm writing a book and I'm so excited about all the research. It's sexy. It's so exciting. I'm going to help so many people, but I'm overwhelmed. I'm so joyed by it, but I'm overwhelmed. But then I was merging with another project where I need help from someone else, and other people are in control of the project and I have no control. And I'm feeling like, what can I do? But I don't know so I'm sorry, I merged two different projects.
No, it's fine. That explains the lack of fire, because it feels like I was feeling when you started the project, the joy, and then I was feeling no fire, but the overwhelm is the wet blanket. That's sort of on the fire, it feels like. So maybe just start. That's it. Just start, and just start with sit down. Okay. So this is like the second time I've told this story to someone this week. I work with this jewelry designer. She designs a lot of my pieces. And the way she puts the things together is she finds the crystals, and then she puts them all out, and she lets the crystals tell them how they want to be grouped. And then she leaves them in groups, and she lets them sit there and talk amongst themselves for however long it takes. And then they show her how the metal needs to be crafted around them to hold them together in the space for the piece of jewelry. And I'm telling you this story because it feels like that's what's happening with your book, is like you're overwhelmed by all of the stuff around you. So embrace that, put it all out, and let what needs to come forward to you that day come forward and work with that. And then the next day, maybe it's a completely different part, but then they start to show you how they thread themselves together in new and unexpected ways. And it feels like we're in a moment-to-moment paradigm. Stop bringing the linear process into this, because it's non-linear. So you're going to be connecting energetically with the piece that you most resonate with that day. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And it feels like when you move on that project, then the other project where you're waiting for people, all of that starts moving too, because the blockage is now gone.
Yes. Thank you.
Awesome. Good. Thank you, Laura. Good. Woohoo. All right. So, 1 second. So there was a question from Abby in the chat. I would love some clarity around energy leaks, especially on waking. I've been spending time in garden to support my health, which has taken a lot of my day with very little accomplished or focused.
So you said waking, like waking up?
That's what I think. Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you said waking or weight gain.
Oh, waking.
Okay. So one of the things that feels really powerful, so obviously the garden is really helping the grounding aspect of that. It's so interesting because I've already told people, if you can't be out in nature and you're sensitive and nature really helps you, stick a potted plant on your desk. And when you feel like you need to ground, just stick your finger in the potted plant, so that may actually be something you can do on waking, is have a plant next to your bed and really connect that way. But I also see consciously grounding down to the earth as you wake up. So you're just opening your eyes. Just see yourself growing roots from your first chakra, your sacrum, down through your legs into the earth. And then also dropping a grounding cord through the perineum down into the earth. And as you breathe, let everything that is not yours, everything that is not serving you, flow down through that grounding cord into the heart of the earth. And once you've done that, just intend it. That's enough. Even if you can't visualize it or you're having a hard time with it, intention is key. Right into the heart of the earth. And some days it may look like a thin little cord. Some days it's a waterfall. Some days it may be crystal, like whatever it is. And then let yourself pull up the energy of the earth through your feet into your first chakra, your sacral area, and let it then fill your whole body. That feels really important for you. And if it doesn't work for you, if you'd rather stand up and do it as soon as you stand up out of bed, that could work too. If actually having your feet on the ground feels better. It just feels like there's a lot that you're picking up while you're sleeping, and having a place to ground it and let it go. That can serve, the earth can take anything we give her and turn it into fertilizer, turn it into energy to create something beautiful. Just let it go back to her and she can use it.
Awesome. Thank you. And that is a great process for anybody and everybody. So please, if you have questions about leaking energy, draining energy, etc., please do that. Okay. So Joy has a question in the chat. Is there a way to lessen our pain when we lose a loved one? Even if life continues after this life, this doesn't help so much.
I've just been through this and I haven't found that yet. We know they're out of their suffering. We know they're in a place where they're doing well. We may even be receiving communication from them in a new and different way. But the pain of losing them, the pain of watching them go through whatever they went through to transition, that's very real and that sticks around. So the thing that I've found very recently that has helped me in particular is to do a releasement ceremony. First, you need to give yourself the space to grieve, right? Because if we're not moving through our grief process, we're just stuffing it down, and then it's just going to stick around and it's going to keep trying to come up again, and we're not letting it out. So it's just going to stay and drag and prolong the process. So make sure that you're feeling the grief when it comes up. And you can't schedule grief, unfortunately. You can't be like, okay, Thursday at 4:30 is my grief time. By 5 p.m., I'm going to go to dance class. That's not the way it works. So, it's just really being present with it and sitting with it. And then when you feel ready, maybe a releasement ceremony or a celebration of that person in some way where you're saying, I release you to the life that you're in now, and I release me to the life that I'm in. And I know that we'll meet in a similar way again, but for now we're on our separate paths. So that's something that I found recently that's helped. So I hope something in there helps you, but just understanding that it's a process and it's not a linear process.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Sarah, you have a quick question for Theresa, and I'm serious. I really want to keep it quick.
I gotcha. I can talk too much sometimes, like everybody else.
I know. I apologize. I just can't today. I just,
No, gotcha. Theresa, I have been doing so much work, and I do serious grounding. I wake up and put this grounding big pad on me every day, but I still carry so much tension. And that has to do with fear, and my digestion is just awful. There was 3 days last week when I could only eat one rice cake. That's it. That's my question. What can I do?
So your tension is preventing you from eating?
No, my tension is going into my digestive system and causing such a ruckus that I can't eat.
Okay. Yeah. So
I'm just too tense. I'm just too anxious, and
so
I get it.
So when we get like that, a lot of us have a very similar response. Then just eat what you can, like have something with you all the time and just take a little bite. That's exactly what you've been doing. I get it. The other thing that I'm seeing for you, have you done abdominal massage with some oil? Like maybe a spearmint oil or something?
No, I could try that.
Yeah.
I just wondered if the angels had any messages for me about, like, try this meditation or whatever. Or
yeah, no, it feels like this may be a very physical thing, a very physical energy that you need to move, like to actually bring love to your physical body, to support your body in the way it's processing energy, especially when it's in the stomach and intestines. So if you take a little, you could use a carrier oil, and then take a couple of drops of like spearmint or something, try that first. And then you're massaging your stomach, you're moving around the belly button. So you'll be moving from underneath the belly button in circles. You're coming up on the right side of your body, going around and coming down on the left side. You want to go in the same direction that your digestive system works. So just, it doesn't have to be super hard, but you're gently rubbing in circles and, see how that goes. Because sometimes we're so in the spiritual movement of energy that we forget our physical body actually does need a little bit of love and support. And it feels like your digestive system could really use some of that right now.
okay, and did they say anything about the anxiety? But
it feels like that actually starts to bring the anxiety down a little bit. I know you're doing grounding, but what it feels like is that starts to bring the energy that has like gone all over your body back to its home, which is in we're speaking like Ayurveda right now, the all of our bodily energy, like the homes are in our digestive system. So you're bringing the energy back home to where it's supposed to be instead of traveling all throughout your system. So try that and do let me know how it goes for you, because I feel like there may be a couple steps after that.
thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. All right, Linda, you still there? You have a question? I know you had your hand raised for a while. You're muted.
Got it. Thank you. Alara. I've been dealing with blockages with my friends. They keep calling and asking for advice, and I don't know what to do anymore because I've asked the angels constantly to help, and I just feel like I'm not as efficient as I should be. Sorry.
So blockages with your friends, meaning that you need to set boundaries with them, or meaning that you are not receiving
I've set boundaries, but I don't receive the messages that I probably should be getting. Thank you.
Got it. So it's really interesting because it feels like for some of your friends, not all of them, it feels like you do receive messages for some people more than others. And it feels like some of those people need to start coming back to themselves to feel what's right in their life. And now in this new paradigm energy, the universe is like, hold on, when you figure this out, then Linda can give you more messages. But you've been on this for a while now, and you need to go here because you're not listening to what we've been telling you through, Linda. So stick with it, work through it, and then she can give you more information. Does that make sense?
Yes, very much so.
They're like, give Linda some time off.
Thank you. I love you. Thanks,
Awesome.
Alara.
Thank you. Thank you, Linda. All right. So I want to take a few minutes, Theresa, and talk about the package that you have for us this time around.
Awesome.
And then we'll see about other stuff.
Other stuff.
Yeah, other stuff. All right, 1 second. I'm going to share my screen, and this never works on here. So, but we'll see if no. So the package is available at alara.at/show/Theresa3. I will share the screen in a second, just putting in the chat for people just in case. Okay, so, all right. There it is. All right, so this is the Healing in the New You package, right? And there's 3 parts to it. Do you want to talk about it?
Sure. So it's the Healing into the New You package, and we're all showing up new in this new paradigm. We've been through a lot. We've been through many years of this evolution, many lifetimes. And so I'm really excited, genuinely excited about this package because, I was really guided to put it together for what we need now. And so the first piece of the package is the meditation bundle. So what we're going to do for you is I'm just like, I have my screen up and yours, so I'm just going to stick with yours. So the 3 meditation packages where they're going to help you prepare for the other piece of the package. The first is changing cellular memory with the angels. So anything that's left in your cells to clear, they'll help you do it and change it. Flooding the world with golden energy. What more do we need right now? And creating peace. Again, the angels really had, when we put this package together, they really knew what was up in the world because this is exactly what we need. And then we're moving into the Healing into the New You live 3-part series, which will be educational and energy work at the same time. So we'll be talking about the aspects of your body, your physical system, mental, emotional, and spiritual system in 3 sessions. So the first one we'll be doing stress and anxiety and what in our body goes out of balance to create stress and anxiety and why we're feeling it right now. And then the healing session will be focused on stress and anxiety, but not limited to that. So you'll go off and relax, and there'll be an energy transmission and of healing energy for the rest of the session after we meet, discuss, and and the third is sadness and depression. And through these sessions, not only do we fix these issues and help to heal them in our body, we also help to rebalance all 5 elements in our bodies. So you'll experience incredibly deep healing, complete relaxation, calm, and clarity. Your clarity, we were talking about that before. You'll start to have more access to your clarity and connect with your guidance. And the best part is the release of old patterns and behaviors. We carry in our cells the memory of 7 generations. right? 7 generations. So that reaction you don't understand could be the reaction of your great great grandma. So let's get rid of it, because that's not the energy of the world anymore. And let's do it with great love. So we'll be looking at the subtle and not so subtle in this series. So those are the dates, the 29th of April, May 6th, and May 13th for the sessions. And then Visioning Your Year Anytime Vision Board Workshop. So it's really all about doing a fun creative project that gets you in touch with exactly what you want to create and co-create in your world and for the world at large right now. And I'll help you figure it out through this pre-recorded workshop, and we'll create a magic board for you so that you can reference your vision every day upon waking. That actually may help you in the morning to anchor your energy and clear whatever it is that's making you tired. We talked about that a little while ago, and to really live into what is it that I want to create, and let's get that energy moving, because we don't have those same limitations we used to have in terms of manifestation and co-creation.
And I was thinking about this when Manisha was talking. I thought, this would be great for her, especially this, the visioning workshop.
Yeah. I do a vision board every year, and it's so much fun. And so this is why I created this workshop, because it's just such a fun, creative project, especially when we feel like we don't have creative energy. This is a great way to really tap into it.
And of course, there are 2 and 3 part payment plans available for this package. And please use the code TACS10 to receive my 10% gift as well. And again, that is available at alara.at/show/Theresa3. And so there is still a bit of time until the live calls happen, right? April 6th, I think it was, or something.
The 20
something. Yeah, so like a month. So we still have time. So you have time to listen to the meditations, do the vision board workshop for yourself as well before the live calls happen.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's a really, I just listened to the timing. I was like, when do you want this, to happen? And it feels like that's the right timing, because it feels like with the spring, this is a lot of what we're done with moving forward. So we're done with a lot of this right now. It feels like it would be premature. Then it feels like we've worked through so much of it. And I saw that a bunch of people had purchased already. So thank you so much. I look so forward to connecting with all of you.
Awesome. All right. So now, do you want to take some more questions, or what else did you have planned for today?
Again, I am of service, and the plan was really it just to be of service, and the angels are here as well. Alara, there's some concern that keeps coming through the chat to me for your eyes. So there are people asking the angels for healing your eyes on your behalf. And I do see Archangel Raphael with you very much. It does feel like there's, are you okay with me saying this publicly?
Yeah, I'm an open book.
It does feel like there's an energy integrating for you with, and this is sort of your body's way of saying, like trying to translate it. So the healing is there. I feel the healing is in progress, and it just may be a hot minute before, but there's something new that's integrating for you. So yeah, but Raphael's on the case, so just keep calling on him. So that should make, Linda's been asking. So Linda, you should feel better about that, hopefully. Yeah. And she's also asked, on behalf of the group, if everyone could send you love and energy to your eyes.
Oh my God, Linda, don't make me cry.
Maybe that'll clear your eye. Let's make Alara cry so her eye clears up.
Thank you. So appreciate that so much. Thank you. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Whew. Linda always makes me cry. She's like, okay. I'm live.
And Linda was just like, I'm not getting messages, and there they are.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. I so appreciate it. Okay, so I cried a lot yesterday, so trust me, I had a really big day yesterday.
Well, thank goodness your eye would have been like this today if you didn't.
Yeah, lots of crying yesterday. It's all good. All right, Tanya, you want to unmute yourself? Maybe not. Yes?
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm having COVID at the moment, so I will do it without the camera. Yes.
Okay.
So I'm getting better. So I feel I will be short. I feel like I have like hole in my energy field in my chest area, and I think that's why I got this flu. And maybe I'm wrong, but I've been feeling lots of butterfly in my heart area. So I just wanted to ask if I'm right or it's something else that is going on.
So what I am seeing for you, so I see that we call it defective space in our systems, for lack of a better word, but we all carry like scars, let's say, scar tissue from the illnesses our family had 7 generations, from where we may have experienced trauma, physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual in this lifetime and in our soul's lifetimes. What I see for you, I don't know if there was a family history of asthma or bronchitis or tuberculosis, but there feels like a family history of something having to do with the lungs. Does that make sense to you before I go on?
I have had lots of bronchitis where I was a child, but no, I don't have asthma in my family, not
Good.
as far as I can remember.
Okay. So that's your weak space in our body. We all have,
yeah,
like,
maybe, yes.
That's your weak space. And so that opening, when a germ comes into our system, it will go seek our weak space. And so what your body was telling you beforehand was, hey, we need a little work. So it feels like anything that you can do to strengthen that area of your body moving forward would be really helpful. So once you're done with this illness, not while you're ill, you can strengthen the area of your body by eating leafy greens. You can do breathing exercises, breath work, or pranayama, or things like that. Maybe even doing light aerobic activity to start getting the oxygen moving more in your lungs, maybe taking deep exhalations, like really getting the oxygen out of the bottoms of your lungs, like really squeezing it out and bringing fresh new air in. It all feels like those are ways that you can work with this. And I really, honestly, it's the cutest thing, because I just feel that it was your body saying, hey, Tanya, there's something in here and I'm trying, but like this space is hard. And that's why you're feeling like butterflies, because this whole space of your body's like, I love you, I'm doing the best I can. So so it feels like just really being with your lungs and speaking with them and supporting them would be really helpful. Does that resonate for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Thank you very much, Theresa. Thank you, Alara. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. And I just want to say for around that really quickly too, my dad, he has COPD, I don't know what that's called anymore, but he was diagnosed with that like 2 or 3 years ago. And he started doing the pranayama, regularly. And that has really helped with his breathing. It really helped him a lot, because at the beginning, it was difficult, but when he started doing the pranayama, it really helped him with that. So he's much better quality of breathing now than when he first got the COPD. So see if you can do the pranayama. It does help. Pat, do you want to unmute yourself?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. There we go. Get my vision. Okay. Hi, Therese.
Hi, Pat.
After I've been to the dentist on the 9th and he cleaned my teeth and they're in good shape, I developed an energy in my gums and my teeth, creating aches. Am I releasing stuff from that?
It's interesting. There's been so much dental stuff going on.
Yes.
Yeah. It's really interesting, because it feels like this is, if we're looking at everything happening in our community today, there's spiritual stuff that's happening, but the answer is supporting the physical, right?
Yes.
And what a beautiful way to enter the new paradigm, because we've been ignoring our physical body, not and that's not criticizing or whatever, but we've been so focused on the spiritual body, and now our physical body is like, hey, let's give the car a tune up. What it feels like would be helpful for you is, do you have sesame seeds?
What?
Sesame seeds?
What are sesame seeds?
They're like little seeds.
Like little white seeds.
Little white
Usually-
seeds.
Usually you find them on sesame seed buns, but they're really
Yeah.
small.
How do you spell it?
SESAME.
SESAME. Okay.
Yes. So the reason I'm saying that is because what you can do is take a handful in the morning and chew them, and
Okay.
it cleans the teeth.
Okay.
It cleans the teeth, and your body pulls calcium from the sesame seeds. They have a lot of calcium. And then you spit them out, and you take a dry toothbrush and you brush your teeth.
Okay.
And it feels like that would be super helpful because they would get all up in the gums and you would be releasing all of that. If you can't find them,
Mhm.
do you have coconut oil?
Yes, I do.
The other thing that you can do is put like a tablespoon or
Yeah.
2 in your mouth, whatever feels like it's good.
I have
And
some
just
right here.
Swish it around
Okay.
for, try to get to 15 minutes. But if you have to stop at like 5, that's fine. Work
Okay.
your way up. It pulls the toxins out of your gums, out of your mouth. And my sense is that something at the dentist's office, the cleaning was great, but something there didn't agree with you. And so
Yes.
pulling that out would be very helpful. So if the coconut oil feels more resonant, start there.
Okay. Thank you so much, Theresa. So
Don't
grateful.
swallow it. Make sure you spit it out.
Yeah,
God
spit it
bless.
out. Spit it out and be careful because it's, you don't want to spit it necessarily into your plumbing because you'll create blockage. So just,
Okay. Yeah.
spit it somewhere.
Okay. 15 minutes. Okay.
Yeah. Work
best
your
you
way
can.
up if you need to.
Thank you.
Awesome. Good. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you. I'm so glad you answered my call.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a great question. I love it. And I never knew about the sesame seeds, Theresa. So that's new. Thank you.
Yeah, that's an Ayurvedic thing. And it's amazing because that's a great thing for anyone who's concerned about calcium too. You can just, it's a great way to bring your calcium levels to normal.
Where can I purchase those at a health food store?
Yeah,
Sesame
generally any store, any
store.
Yeah, in the spice section usually.
In the spice section.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, great.
And there's so many people in the chat now sharing their tooth woes. It's like this has been a thing for light workers in the past. I've been hearing this for about 3 weeks, all about people.
wow.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you're not alone, Pat.
That's good. Yeah. It's good to know. I understand that, but it's good to get support to help me
Yeah, for sure.
understand, give myself compassion. I try to breathe in the gold light and swirl that around my mouth too,
Yeah, that'll help.
and send love to it.
Gold light and coconut oil, a match made in heaven.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah, sometimes we do have to do the physical as well,
Yes.
not just the
yes.
energetic. Yeah, awesome. Good.
And
Thank
it's
you.
amazing because a lot of what we're talking about today in terms of the physical body, when we're treating the physical body, we're treating the spiritual body as well. So we were talking about like massaging the abdomen before. Our digestive system is so key to our immune system, and our immune system ties right into our spiritual body. And it's just really amazing when we kind of look at things that way.
Samdai has a question saying, I keep literally falling throughout my life and hurting myself. Is it my negativity or is it from outer sources? I never would have asked that question.
You keep falling.
Outer sources or other sources?
It doesn't feel like it's outer sources. There may be things outside of your body that are in your way that are causing you to fall. I'm just really feeling in so I'm checking in with the angels as well. I feel Archangel Ariel with you very much. And I also feel her like she's there, like helping pick you up after you fall, which is really, really sweet and special. I don't feel like it's anything you're doing to sort of hold yourself back. I feel like there may be some energy in your life that you keep tripping over, like the same pattern or the manifestation of a similar pattern. So that feels important to realize that if you don't work through whatever this pattern is, it's going to keep showing up in different ways. I also am very much on the side of, if there's something going on in your life repeatedly, physically, that is not your norm, go get a checkup, just go and get checked out. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong, but what it will do is then help to alleviate the wonder if there's something going on, because there could be anything that affects our balance. We could have like an inner ear thing going on, or like a small infection in a tooth or something like that, that just causes our balance to be off. So it always helps to kind of go get that checked out, even if you go for a thermography or something where they scan the heat in your body and see if there's anything going on. So, it just feels like, again, I don't necessarily feel anything in your system, but it does feel like there's something causing your equilibrium to be a little bit off. So I would just kind of, if it feels true to you, to go kind of get that checked out.
For sure. Awesome. Thank you. All right. So lots of stuff in the chat. Melissa, I know you asked a question. I'm going to try and read the question part. I don't know what the actual question is, but I think she said something about, can she get help with being back in alignment? Alignment with purpose, with life, with etc.
Okay, who is this again? Remind me.
Melissa.
Okay, Melissa, the one thing that I feel is that you are pretty clear. You are pretty clear in terms of the feelings of how you want to feel. And, I want to feel of service. I want, like, whatever it is that's true for you. What I do feel is that your grounding isn't, it's almost like it's there, but it's very shaky. So it's like, the grounding cord is kind of severed. So if what we shared before about dropping the grounding cord feels like it resonates, I think that would be really good for you, because I think it's the moving forward, the manifestation, like the physical manifestation of it, that's the issue, and not necessarily your level of clarity or intuition. The other thing I'm feeling, your angels are showing me like lateral heart energy. And what I'm seeing that is like joy. There's a piece of you that wants to have more fun, right? And the piece seems to be your heart. So what is it that you can do that would bring you more fun in your life? Connection, love. It feels like when you just do some more of that, everything else kind of starts to fall into alignment. So let us know if that makes sense to you, please.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Michelle, you want to unmute yourself? Go ahead.
Hello.
Michelle.
I don't know if you can hear me. Hi. I'm just thank you, Alara, for being here for us, and I'm definitely sending you well wishes on your eyes. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Teresa, I deal with. Thank you. I deal with fatigue. Just it'll come just out of the blue. Or just all of a sudden I'm zapped. I just wonder if you have any help for how I can manage my energy better.
Mm-hmm. Have you I'm just going to ask it. Have you been tested for Lyme?
Not recently. I actually have a lot of symptoms of Lyme, but that doctor, I don't think I've had my doctor check me for that. Maybe okay. Wow. That would explain a lot.
Yeah, it feels like
Okay.
Get a test just to know.
Okay.
The
Okay.
other thing, do you eat breakfast?
Yes, usually. Sometimes I delay it though. Sometimes I usually start my day with green tea, and then my favorite beverage in the world is coffee, but I deal with anxiety, so I only allow myself a small portion of, more decaf than regular, but I sometimes delay breakfast. Is that going to help me if I quit the skipping breakfast? Heard
So
play it.
it's so fun. My favorite beverage is coffee also, just so you know.
Yeah, it is, but my brain doesn't like it.
Yeah. I'm just seeing, I'm literally, Archangel Ariel is showing me she's holding a bowl of oatmeal like this. That's what I'm seeing.
Okay,
so,
thank you.
So that's what I'm seeing. It feels like that would be a good energy food for you. It'd be a good clean food for you. But if you aren't hungry for breakfast, then follow your body's lead. It just feels like when you do eat it, make sure that it's something that would give you energy. And I even see, I don't know if you like peanut butter or sunflower butter or something, you could put like a spoonful in there. If that feels resonant to you.
Yeah,
But
I eat a lot of nut butters. Yeah, I peanuts not. I try to avoid peanut. They say it's not as healthy, but I do eat a lot of nut butters. Yeah, almonds, sunflower. Yeah, cashew.
Yeah, I would start with the Lyme test because that was the first thing they showed me.
Wow, you know what? I've had some stuff that they can't explain, and that's one of the possible causes. Like I ended up having a pacemaker put in because my heart rate just kept bottoming out, and there's no other thing wrong with my heart, just my heart rate, and that's one of the causes of bradycardia is Lyme disease. But yeah, the fatigue has been a real deal. But okay, I will definitely get checked for Lyme disease. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Michelle. All right, we're going to take one more quick question. Maybe one, maybe two, we'll see. But Angela was asking about, she says, I've had energy drain this week, cannot tell what is causing it. Any guidance?
I think it's the full moon that kind of kicked a lot of us in the butt. Like different full moons affect different people differently based on the chart. And also if we look at what's going on in the world right now, we'll have energetic resonance with different situations based on our own history of our soul. So I feel for you, it's a combination of a lifetime as a war refugee and also the full moon. I'm getting like such chills as I say that. So it feels like a combination of those things. And it feels like the answer is to really deeply nurture yourself. Give yourself grace. I'm going to share this because I think they only show me what's helpful to your process. I see a little girl in a very dirty dress, like hiding in the dark with like a piece of a coat that she's using as a security blanket. Like she's all dirty and like she's hidden under rubble after bombing. And it feels like this is very connected to you, and it's coming up right now for clearing. So if that feels resonant, then maybe meditate into that a little bit and find out what it is in you that's ready to go to clear, or what direction is being given to you now on how you can help from that little girl. So it's really beautiful because it feels like she's holding a piece of your purpose for you right now. So
okay,
yeah.
cool.
So just give yourself grace and deeply nurture yourself through it. And it feels like listen to your body, listen to your mind, listen to your emotions, and roll with them, and everything will be fine.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Angela, let us know how that feels. iPhone says, I have a son with Down syndrome who has been unwell and violent. Are there any messages from me around this?
We are the world and the world is us, right? We are the world and the world is us. And one of the most beautiful gifts that people who are dealing with Down syndrome bring to the world is that they don't have a filter between their emotions and the expression of them. And so when we look at the world right now and how he's acting, we can see this playing out. Like that's what, and so the lesson here that he's bringing is we are the world. And so what feels like it could potentially help is, first of all, keep yourself safe. You know, I've worked with beautiful people with Down syndrome, you know, and it's like, keep yourself and him safe first. That's always the first thing. You know this as a parent. But sometimes we forget, you know, in terms of being of service. The second piece is, what can you do to instill more peace and harmony into the environment? So just, are there colors that bring peace? Are there like textures? Just really feeling into that. The other thing I feel like is maybe his hormones are a little bit out of balance as well. There may be something kind of changing for him in terms of his hormones, and this is the way his body's reacting. That's what happens to us. Our hormones make us do things. So maybe having a checkup with his physician as well, but it also feels like just understanding that there's no filter between the emotions and the world. And so creating a space of peace that can be that filter, not that your space isn't peaceful, but making it extra peaceful to have that filter between him and the world right now could potentially help. So let us know how that goes.
Awesome, thank you. All right, Silvana had a question. I've been having a hard time, this is the last question. I've been having a hard time for months. I'm having abdominal pain and pain in my back, and my energy seems to be decreasing rather than improving as I'm healing from the grief of my mom's passing in January and all the trauma of the 10 years of caring for her. I'm concerned, what might I do?
So there are stages of grief, right? There are different stages, and we have to push through a lot of it. We have actions we need to take, and then we have things we need to sort through. And then when all of that is done, sometimes it's like the depth of everything hits us, and it feels like you're in the depth of when everything hits you right now. And so becoming the earthly mother to yourself right now feels really important. When we lose our parents, we become orphans. And so that archetype of being the child is gone. And now we're an orphan child until the next archetype steps in. And it feels like you're in that state of flux right now where that next archetype is ready to step in. But in this period, you now need to learn to parent yourself as the adult that you are, to be the parent that you need. So, if you had a child that was feeling this way, how would you treat that child? Like, how do you love and nurture yourself through this grief? And of course, if you do need help navigating your grief, find a counselor, find a group. It's really important. There are so many really beautiful groups dealing with grief right now, post like the huge numbers of patients that died of COVID. And I have some friends and clients who are members, and I've seen remarkable shifts and changes in them. It's just a place where you can go to be with people who have been through what you've been through. And that may help as well. But it definitely just feels like, how would you parent a child going through what you're going through, and just love and nurture yourself through it is a big thing here. I hope that helps. And I hope that doesn't sound insensitive, because it's really, really hard to lose our parents. And I just want to acknowledge that. And I also want to acknowledge, I feel the energy from the other side wanting to acknowledge the work that you did for so long to take care of your mother. Just what a great job you did, and how lovingly devoted you were, and how much you still will question decisions you made or things that you did. And it's time to let that go, because everyone over there is really happy with what you did and really grateful. And, Archangel Ariel is there with you, and it feels like she's holding your heart. So definitely invite her into your healing process if you haven't done that already.
Awesome, good. Thank you, Silvana. All right, one last question. Beverly M. Beverly M, battling severe depression. Can you provide clarity? So I'm just going to say really quickly first, battling severe depression is a big thing. So we're not going to get all the answers in a 2-minute question.
Battling severe depression, like depression really needs to be addressed with some professionals. Like what we do here can definitely help, can definitely make a difference. But if you are battling depression, please, please, please get help. Please talk to somebody about how you're feeling, because it's real and it's hard. And I just want to acknowledge that as well. Please reach out and get some help. There are so many wonderful people, and there are so many free resources now also. What I do feel for you it's like I'm in your heart, and I've entered this place that feels like it's total darkness. Like there's this place of total darkness that's in this section of my heart. But what I can see, kind of being outside of it, and from the angel's point of view, is there's like this chain, this light chain that you tug on it and the light comes on, but you don't know it's there, right? So it feels like with this, what they want you to understand is on the other side of this is the light, the love, the warmth that you are craving, and a power within yourself that you intuitively know is there, but you haven't been able to access. So they really want you to know what's on the other side of this, so that you're navigating your way through it doesn't seem as hopeless, doesn't seem as dark, because you don't know what's there or when it's coming. So what they're showing me is, and it feels like maybe reaching out for help is you finding where the light switch is and just pulling it. Or maybe it's like whatever it is for you, but they definitely want to share with you that there is something really beautiful on the other side of this.
Beverly, did you want to say anything?
It's just, I feel like a lot of things have been coming up from the past, and it's kind of been low-grade depression for a while, and it's gotten worse fairly recently, but it's just blocked me and stopped me from doing, I just don't, I just kind of like sit in a state of, paralysis. That's the appropriate word.
Yeah.
There's a lot of paralysis. I can't do my art. I can't do my writing. I can't do my animal communication or Reiki. And I think a lot of it, I'm going to re-listen to this, because I know we were talking about the feelings of worthlessness and pain. There's a lot there. So
Yeah, please do. And please remember to pull the light switch. Even if you can't see it, feel it, perceive it, imagine it's there, and pull it.
Beverly, I just also want to, I just want you to realize too, it's depression robs us of all of our energy. Like that's part of depression, and so it feels like the understanding of that is really important, because I hear you saying, I can't do this, I can't do that. And I feel an element of compassion there, but I also feel an element of frustration with yourself. So it's like, this depression is real. We're sick in some way, right? We're ill in some way. And we need to treat ourselves as though we're ill. What do we need to help restore ourselves? It's like, if we had, if we had a broken leg, we wouldn't be criticizing ourselves for not being able to run a marathon. So it's just about that, like really giving yourself the love, and let us love you too. Let us love you right now. And just remember that the light switch is there, and there is something really beautiful. Like there's just so much beauty on the other side. They just keep showing me. And let us know if there's anything that you need in terms of resources. We're happy to help.
thank you. Your package, that includes the meditations, and I saw obviously the depression, the whole, and the vision boarding. That's all included in that same package.
It is, yes.
Plus the 3 live calls, the 3 meditations, and the vision board. Yeah, it's all there.
The calls, healing sessions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel better, Alara. Thank you.
Thank you, Beverly. Thank you. All right. And I wasn't gonna take Beverly's question, because like, oh, depression, it's so heavy. But it's like, I know for myself, I have been battling depression all my life. I think my father has also been battling depression all his life. And so it's, it's not fun. And so I wanted to make sure that we gave you a little bit of support and acknowledgement of what you are going through, and that it's definitely not easy, but we are here to support you. And like Theresa said, if you need other resources, let us know. Okay.
Yeah. And, Alara, it's just, I know we're over time. I just wanted to share that so much of the world is in the same boat right now in terms of feeling depression, and for those of us who are entering the spring season, it helps to lighten it a little bit. But after the last couple of years, this is the biggest mental health crisis that we've seen in the world in my lifetime, at least. So, so just to understand that as well, that you are not alone on the days that you feel alone, any of us who are feeling depressed, it's worldwide right now, and we can really get through it together.
Yeah, absolutely. And reach out for support. Yesterday I reached out to two of my, not biggest teachers, but my closest teachers that I have. I reached out to them crying, got on the phone and I'm crying. And they're like, are you okay? They both answered the phone, thank God. But the first thing I had to say to them was, everything's fine. Everything's fine. That nobody's hurt. Nothing's happened. Going through this stuff, right? So please do reach out for support and don't worry about being judged. If I was worried about being judged yesterday by my teachers, it's like I don't know what I would have done. I would have just not called, and that would have been hurt. That would have hurt me more, right? So please know that we are, all going through a lot of stuff right now. Every single one of us is going through a lot of stuff right now. Things are coming up, old patterns, old childhood stuff, just so much is coming up right now for many different reasons, right? And for those of us who are in Europe, we are being affected by what's happening in the Ukraine and Russia. We are, even though we might be far away from it, but we are being affected by it, plus everything else that's happening. So just be gentle with yourself, have compassion with yourself, love yourself, and reach out for support. Check out Theresa's package, because there's some wonderful, wonderful resources and tools, and the meditations and the live calls and the visioning workshop. It's all going to help you to move forward a little bit, to clear some stuff for sure, give you some clarity, move forward. And that is the best that we can ask for right now, is to, what can I do to move forward just a little bit, just one step, right? That's what we need. And also at the same time, I think in Theresa's bio, it says something about, she's a love warrior, a warrior for love, and a stand for peace, right? And she embodies unconditional love. So when you're with her in her presence, or when you're part of her program, you're going to be receiving that as well. And that's going to help you to open up even more. I don't know what's going on with my throat. So I was like, what is going on with me? There's so much happening, right? But just know that, you know what, it'll all work out. Have faith and trust, call on your angels. Even if you don't know who they are, just call on them. I think Theresa mentioned Ariel, Raphael, Michael today. Call on any of them. They will come and support you and help you. Right? So again, Theresa's package is available at alara.at/show/Theresa3. Theresa, any other last words of wisdom for us from yourself or from the angels?
Yeah, I mean, the angels don't need any special way of you calling on them. You can, if you're in the depths of your despair, you can just literally say, I need you now, or just, yo angels, or whatever it is that works, because they're literally right there just waiting for you. And I think today, if we take nothing else away, is to really pay attention to how our physical, mental, and emotional bodies enhance our spiritual experience here, and how much love and tending they need right now in this transition, because our spiritual bodies went light years ahead, and now the rest of us is catching up. And so don't be afraid to talk to people, especially in this community, about what's coming up for you, because if you can see the chat, so many of us were resonating with everything that was shared today, like from the teeth to the depression to all of it. So you're never alone, even though you may feel terminally unique. And we are here to love you, and nothing you can say is going to make us love you more, and nothing you can say is going to make us love you less.
Beautiful. I love that. Yeah, we love you, love you, love you. So with that, thank you so much, everyone, for all of your comments, questions, feedback, your healing, your love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm sure I missed some questions next time. But until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all much love and blessings always. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye for now.